What is going on, you guys? It's Xavier with After the Whistle. Just a quick update and heads up. We talked about the Pascal Siakam trade in this episode, and so we record our episodes on Tuesdays and edit them throughout the week. And obviously, if we recorded this on Tuesday, Pascal Siakam had traded on that Wednesday, so we didn't know that he was getting traded the very next day. Otherwise, we would have changed our whole, take on that trade. So if it sounds a little outdated, or if it sounds a little like, hold on, wait, you guys know he got traded, right? It's because we recorded this on Tuesday. So I just want to give you guys a little heads up. And for future videos, we always record on Tuesdays. So just let you know. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Thanks.
Video game.
We're hoping to get a future all-star.
Come on, get back. And
It's not. What is going on, YouTube? Back with another episode of After the Whistle. Today, I went to Iowa State. I'm here, Xavier, my co-host Jaden.
What are you doing?
What do you mean? What am I doing?
Don't be recording me, brother. Don't say it. Don't say
No. If you know the rest of the meme, you know what you know. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
But thank you for joining us. Another episode of After the Whistle. We hit 50 subs this past week. So thank you to all you guys for subbing. Make sure to keep telling your friends, tell your cousins, family members, like, comment, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell notification for when we post these spicy hot takes that all you old heads get mad about. It's okay, because we're not talking about John Stockton today. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow our pages, TikTok, Instagram, to push up more content for you guys. We're going to try and hit 100 subs by the end of the year. We can only do that with you guys. So we're going to get right into it. We're flashing the rollies. Shador on.
You know what this is, right?
On. It's not a G-Shock.
It's about time we get 50 subs. And also, it's about time we see some Dame time out there. You see that Damian Lillard hitting the game winner for the Bucks? Oh man, it's finally happening.
I actually saw Thanasis Antetokounmpo like in the picture, and I was like, "This dude, bro, this dude." You know, we should make a poll. Remember how you said Q said if Thanasis has more points than Ben Simmons?
Mm-hmm.
We should put a poll out. Do you guys think Thanasis Antetokounmpo will have more points this season than Ben Simmons?
Honestly, by the way he typed it, I really couldn't tell what his side was.
Neither could I.
I don't know if he thinks Ben Simmons will have more, Thanasis will have more.
Because what does Ben Simmons have? 38?
Yeah, it was like 38, and he's probably out for like most of the season.
Well, he tweeted out saying, "I'll be back soon." I have a quick question. Is his career over? Is it chalk? Like, are we calling it quits for him? Like, is the whole thing about just wait till he gets back, Like, is that like whole thing over? Like, is Ben Simmons' career kind of just done?
So Ben Simmons has potential to be one of the best players of all time. He really does. It's there. He has shown glimpses of it, especially being one of the best defenders of all time. I really thought he would have at least gotten a Defensive Player of the Year award by now if he didn't choose the path he went down. Ben Simmons has so much potential because he was one of the fastest people in the league, 6'10", 250, could defend all 5 positions, could score with ease if he had confidence. And his scoring was really the only thing that was bringing him down. His defense was just on a whole nother level.
But even but like
he was only, sorry to cut you off, but he was only like 21, 22. He was already all NBA third team.
Yeah.
Already high in the standings for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And he just had more time to grow. But nobody understands what happened. And now we're here where he's what, 24, 25 now?
Yeah.
It's still in there. It's still locked in. It just has to be brought out somehow. And it's very unlikely it does happen, but there still is a chance that Ben Simmons still becomes a good quality player. And even for a team, like I could see him playing really well with Luka Doncic. If he gets in, if he's with like Luka, I could see him being really good. I could see Ben Simmons becoming Aaron Gordon. I really could see that. I really could see that. He just has to lock into a system and it will work. Did I say
Yeah,
Ben Gordon? I meant Aaron Gordon.
you
I
said
don't
no.
know
You
if I
said
said.
Aaron. I think you said Aaron
Oh,
Gordon.
okay. I was like,
Um,
why did I say Ben Gordon?
I
But yeah.
I had him. Okay, I feel like his Aaron Gordon could be his ceiling. I feel like his maybe
No,
his
no,
ceiling.
no,
I feel like,
no.
but
Not a
I
ceiling.
was gonna say I don't think he's gonna be. I could be wrong because time will tell. He's still pretty young, but those back injuries, man, he keeps those that back injury. He's already 6'10", so that defensive presence isn't really gonna be there because that's gonna zap you sitting in the chair for long periods of time. I was gonna say he could be more like a Draymond Green. I think a lot of people think he could still be a Draymond Green, a guy
Yeah.
that because I feel like no matter how many injuries you have, he can still play make. Like he's gonna be able to still play make. I feel like he still has the vision. He was a great playmaker when he was. I mean, he's still in his prime, but I guess at his
Nah,
apex,
he's out of his prime.
I was gonna say at his apex, he was still getting you what 8, 9 assists a game.
He was 16, 8, and 8.
Yeah, so I feel like he can if he can. I mean, he can still do what Draymond Green does, still rebound. If he can, it sucks because I feel like he should just be able to do what Draymond does at a little bit higher level because he is younger. I feel like if he does what 10 and 8 for the rest of 10, 8 and 6 for the rest of his career, in that Draymond Green sort of role, kind of be the facilitator, be the defensive presence, the defensive backbone. I don't see why he could. I feel like he still could carve out a great role of his career, but not to where we thought he was going to get to.
Yeah. See, Ben Simmons' ceiling. Um, what would his ceiling be?
Right now, or when he was at his apex.
I mean, obviously, at his apex, his ceiling was a little worse, a big chunk worse. LeBron James, that was his ceiling,
Well, I think
based off his style of play.
they compared him more to like a Magic. I think his only problem because he could get. I mean, he's 6'10". He could get up and down the court as quick as anybody. I think
Yeah,
his ceiling was more like a Magic Johnson type of thing because Magic Johnson couldn't really. I mean, he could
yeah,
shoot it a little bit, but he also played in the '80s, so he wasn't the three ball wasn't like that. I think that was kind of his ceiling because he couldn't really shoot like that, and you know. But go ahead. What are you saying?
I don't really even have a good comparison for him. Like, but I think his most realistic right now ceiling would be Aaron Gordon.
I can see that. No, I can see that too. Aaron Gordon
But
is a
also talking about the Nuggets, I feel like he's literally like Michael Porter Jr. Just swap offense for defense. That's really what he is, kind of. Both
I can see.
6'10", both light skin. You know,
I think the
both
Aaron
young
Gordon
with back problems.
I think the Aaron Gordon comparisons is fair. Aaron Gordon is a great glue guy. Um
Mm,
he really changed his career. Um I think I think he deserves a little bit more praise than we give him credit for because in
yeah,
Orlando he was kind of, they kind of tried to make him the guy and that
yeah,
wasn't really what he was. Then he goes to Denver. They know Jokic is the guy. Murray is one of the guys. So then they put him in that system to where, look, just be a glue guy. Just be a hustle, a very good, hard nosed defender, hustle guy on offense, playing the dunker spot, playing the offensive lanes, be ready to catch lobs, hit the occasional three ball here and there. And he's carved out a really good role for him. He's one of the better I don't know if I would call him 3 and D, but he's one of the better glue guys. Um, on the Nuggets, and he really is a big part of why they won the championship this year and why they've been succeeding in the last couple of years.
It's crazy to think that people really sat there in Hollywood, in the NBA world, and were like, all right, Michael Jordan retired. LeBron's kind of too old now. New Space Jam going to be about Aaron Gordon.
Yikes.
I even knew that was crazy back then. I thought it was crazy for Blake Griffin to be the Aaron Gordon star. And then
Yeah.
they thought Jeremy Lin, and then they were like, all right, we're just going to give it to LeBron.
He's just gonna give it to LeBron.
They're like, all right, LeBron's still balling. We'll just give it to him.
He's always been balling. There's not a point in time LeBron hasn't been balling.
Yeah, but back then they were like, all right, he's like 32 now. He might start regressing. We're gonna make Space Jam about someone young. But then after a while, they're like, all right, he's still going crazy, so he's never gonna age. Might as well just give him the movie. Bro, that's like that's the second time I've brought up Blake Griffin
You must
and
really like
not
Blake
talking
Griffin.
about basketball, just talking about Hollywood stuff.
Gamefly and
And now Space Jam. Bro, the Blake Griffin Space Jam commercials used to go crazy, man.
he was
They'll get me so hyped.
he was probably in his prime with the Clippers. He had to be at least what a like top. Would you say a top 5 most popular player, not skill wise, but popular in terms of popularity? I think he was really up there.
I don't know. It's kind of hard
Because what was
because you
his?
also got to understand back then they still had Kobe, Kevin Garnett, Dirk, Tim Duncan, all still in the league still.
Well, I know, but I'm talking in terms of popularity though. Like I think Blake
Yeah.
Griffin was more popular than Kevin Garnett at that
No.
point. Yes.
No.
Back in what 2013, Kevin Garnett was on the Nets.
Bro, he still had a ring.
Okay, but I'm not
He had an
talking about.
MVP.
No, I'm not talking about like skills and accolades. I'm talking about just in terms of the general public
Yeah,
popularity.
general public. Bro, I don't know. It's kind of hard because like, just Blake Griffin was in a lot of stuff, but
Yeah, so he jumped. I mean, he
does
was
his Hollywood success make him more popular than NBA greats? I don't know. It's kind of hard
I
because
mean,
like,
I feel like we have another clip here, and I'm about to say, and it's well, no, it's kind of different because right now we're obviously watching the Nuggets game, and I'm sitting here thinking about Nikola Jokic, and I'm like, is Nikola Jokic now more popular than what Blake Griffin was in his prime? Even
no,
though Blake Griffin wasn't as good as Nikola Jokic. So you're saying no, Nikola Jokic isn't as popular?
no.
Okay, I don't think so either. And I think some people are going to be like, "Oh, what do you guys mean? Nikola Jokic has rings MVP. We're not talking about accolades. We're talking about just in terms of the general public, general popularity. Blake Griffin
Yeah,
was pretty popular.
like I gotta think. Would my mom know who Blake Griffin was?
Yeah, that's how you should break it down. Who knows who
Joker,
more?
I know for sure. My family members do not know who
Not
Joker
yeah,
is.
right. But
I gotta
everybody,
think.
I think a lot more people knew who Blake Griffin was back in what
Does
from 20.
2013 to 2016?
I was gonna say I was
Well,
gonna say
2011 till
I was gonna
2016,
say
probably.
2011 to 2016.
Does Maria know who Joker is? Because, man, I could probably count all 10 players in the league Maria knows.
I don't
I
know
don't
if
think
my
Joker's
mom.
making a list.
I don't know if my mom knows. My mom definitely doesn't know who Kevin Garnett is, or
My mom definitely knows who Kevin Garnett is.
my mom definitely does not know who Nikola
My
Jokic is.
grandparents know who Kevin Garnett is. I know that for sure.
I know my dad knows. My dad knows who Kevin Garnett is. If I say Kevin Garnett, or I'm like, Dad, do you know who Kevin Garnett is? He say, Yeah, he played in the NBA, right? I think my dad would
Yeah.
know Kevin Garnett. If I asked him if he knew Nikola Jokic, he'd probably say no.
Yeah. I
Maybe
know
from
for
like an
sure.
ESPN. Go ahead.
I know for sure my grandparents know who Kevin Garnett is, but I know they might know Blake Griffin, but they definitely don't know Joker.
Yeah, I feel like if you watch basketball and you keep up with sports, you know who Joker is because you keep up with sports. But
Yeah, they don't really.
if you don't, you don't know, you're not gonna know who,
Yeah,
you're not gonna know who Luca is if you don't keep up with sports. If you
Maria
don't,
knows who Luca is.
but she probably knows it from you though.
Yes,
Like,
I
like the general
got an action
public is
figure.
like, I bet you that's what we should do. We should go out around where we live downtown,
Yeah,
ask people, do you know who Luka Doncic is? We can do both. We can do both 5 men and 5 women, and ask, do you know who Luka Doncic is? And
I bet.
see what the numbers
I
are.
bet. I bet women know that are below the age of 27. Women will know Zion Williamson, Anthony Edwards, Miles Bridges, um, Josh Giddey. Remember, we're in DC and they're like, "Oh, Josh Giddey."
Oh, that is true. You know what?
Um,
Funny story. I went to a Steelers game. They played the Ravens. This the last game of the season for the Ravens and the Steelers. So last regular season game, there was a woman with a Ray Rice jersey on.
huh?
That's all I'm gonna say. I thought that was very interesting, given what Ray Rice had done. If you don't know, I'm not gonna say it. Just go look it up. Given what Ray Rice did, a woman was wearing his jersey. I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting to me. I found that very I don't know.
Yeah.
But let's get into some
Oh,
NBA. Oh, go ahead.
Kelly Oubre Jr. Kelly Oubre Jr.
I'm trying to think. I feel like a lot of people know who Kevin Love is
Nah,
because because you were talking about like just NBA guys and well, Kevin Love
I know.
because
You
you
know,
know
all right. The three most popular NBA players, off the top of my head, without even thinking,
right
is
now.
prop is LeBron, obviously, Steph Curry. Third is definitely probably Chris Paul.
You think so?
State Farm. It's everywhere.
I don't know about Chris Paul.
I know for sure my grandparents know who Chris Paul is. I mean, State Farm, man. It's like played in everything. I'm watching
I
YouTube. I'm seeing State Farm.
I agree with you for the first two.
Who would be
Um,
more popular than Chris Paul?
I'm trying to that the general public would know.
Yeah, it's Chris Paul. He's on TV shows, man. And all the TikTokers, they know him. I'm here with Chris Paul. It was not Chris Paul. It's Kyrie
It's
Irving.
I think it's Rajon Rondo. That Chris. More people are like, "Oh, it's my favorite player, Chris Paul." It's really Rajon Rondo. um,
Yeah, it gotta be Chris Paul. Chris Paul is third most popular player in the league.
I'm trying to think because I feel like there's another person.
Because Kevin
You
Durant
wouldn't.
is
You
cool
would
and
say. I
all.
was going to say you wouldn't say Kevin Durant is popular.
No, he's only popular because of basketball. He had a movie, but that was, yeah, not as popular.
I
Kevin
think of
Durant
like
probably fourth though, because you gotta think like all the older guys.
I don't know. I'm gonna say Kevin Durant back in middle school. He had the shoe game on lock. If you came to school with
But
the KD with the
that's our
KD set,
generation though.
that's true. But I'm saying if you came to school in like 2013 and 14, if you had the KD sevens on with the elite socks, the brown joggers, and the bruh, that was designer back then.
That is
That's why
true,
I could never go to school now. Like they
bro.
go to school with Balenci. Go
You would
ahead,
have the KD sevens, the Nike socks, some joggers, and then a Rue 21 shirt. You're cooking,
bruh. The elite
and then a
socks,
bucket hat. I remember you used to have the bucket hats all the time.
bruh. The elite socks really made you feel like you were Yo, you remember those bands? Remember those bands they used to have in middle school, like the little balance bands?
The balance bands.
Like they made it feel like you were like Man, if I could, I'm gonna put a picture up on the screen from when we post a TikTok about this. It was a band that like made you have more balance or whatever. Oh, dude, I gotta
I
see if I
have
can
no
find
idea
it.
what you're talking about.
I trust me. It was if I show you, you're gonna be like, oh, I know what you're talking about now.
But
Damn, those are the days. Middle school.
you also got to understand though, those shoes, he peaked with 6, 7, and 8, and that was one middle school class. And after that, those shoes weren't as popular anymore. NBA shoes aren't that popular no more. So I mean, KD's popular and all, but and also with basketball player shoes, bro, some people don't even be knowing like what the shoes are. They just think they're cool and everyone
Oh,
has them.
you wouldn't say Kyrie Irving's popular, or is it only
See,
because of
no,
basketball?
I would have Kyrie Irving at fifth though. I would have him at fifth.
No, I would say Kyrie Irving's more popular than Kevin Durant
Maybe.
because his game and his first of all his shoes were like peak
Yeah,
basketball shoes.
his shoes are
I'm saying
crazy. Everyone
his
wears his shoes.
shoes, especially when obviously he's not with Nike anymore, but his shoes were like peak basketball shoes. I think he
He
had
might
the
be
best
fourth.
shoe. No, he had like
Oh
the
yeah.
best shoe. I think
He
his
did. He
shoe
did have
his
he had the
shoes.
longest stretch of shoes, but
Yeah.
man, KD sevens, you probably never even hooped them, but
No, I mean I didn't. Yeah, I don't think you could. I don't
bro,
hooping in KD sevens. Like
I
I
was
had a
hooping.
pair.
I was hooping in KD sevens for like 6 months until I left them in my car in the heat and the glue melted on accident. That was my fault. But bro, KD sevens,
Like terrible to hooping.
the best hooping shoes, dog. Like
I
when you
never
hit
hooped
the
in those.
cuts, you wouldn't even think to hoop in them. But I hooped in them. You hit them cuts in them. Oh man, you're going. You're pulling up. You're feeling like KD. Oh man, bro.
We might put a poll up. Let me
I got.
think. What were you say Kyrie's best shoe was? Is it the threes?
I think it's the twos. I think if I can remember off
The
the top of my head, I
ones
don't
were
remember the
pretty.
numbers.
I'm talking about the
The
ones that had like the SpongeBob
the
collab.
Yeah, I think okay. Those
The
might be the
ones that had
threes.
like those SpongeBob collabs. I'm thinking like the threes. Those were pretty. Those were pretty hard. The
Yeah,
twos. Yo, Kyrie, he was crazy when he had shoes.
yeah. He had a lot of good shoes. Like
His
so,
was crazy.
my two hooping shoes were almost flicked the camera off. KD sevens, and then I had the Kyrie threes or fours. Those are my two hooping shoes I had for a while.
Now in high school, his shoes were really good, even though they
Yeah,
like took them away. Paul George, I had PG. I think I had the first PGs in high school, the white and black ones. Hey, those were pretty fire. Those were pretty fire.
mm,
Um, I never hooped in LeBrons unless they were like the soldiers that were like the Velcro ones.
man.
Any like they didn't have the laces though, but like
Yeah, I had
those are the
those.
only LeBrons I hooped in that I felt comfortable hooping in. I don't usually see people hooping in like LeBrons. Um,
I hooped in LeBron 11s, I think they are. Yeah, 11s. The Everglades. Hooped in those.
okay. I never saw
They
anybody
weren't that
hooping
good.
in. I never saw anybody hooping in like the South Beaches, even though those are fire. I never saw anybody
Yeah.
hooping those.
There was only one man that would hoop in LeBrons, and that's because he had the LeBron build. That was Robert Hallman. You remember Robert Hallman? Bro, that dude always be hooping
Yo,
LeBrons. I was like, bro, he's
he
the only
did.
person
He
that would do
did.
that.
He did. Yo, Rob, if you see this, why were you hooping in LeBrons, bro? Did have a LeBron player build though. He was
He
just
did have
like
the LeBron player build.
big, athletic. Yeah. Shout out to Robert Hallman, man. Shout out to the guy.
Oh, but
Uh,
back to what I was saying about people not
yeah, I
even
don't even know how
knowing
we got on that.
people be not knowing who the shoes are made by. Because I remember, do you remember this dude named Abdul?
The name
Middle
sounds
school?
very familiar. I think
Abdul.
so.
Bro, I
Hmm.
be seeing him around because he works at this place on 40. But yeah, so Abdul,
You just like you out of this man. What if he was trying to hide from somebody?
bro, Abdul is like one of the most common names on the planet.
Just saying.
It's like Muhammad, like one of the most common names. Is the most common name in the world. I know that from Super Bad. But
Great
Abdul,
movie.
he had some Curries, right? The Curry twos, I think. This is when, Curry's really popular. This is like back to back MVP Curry and just won a championship, but then has 73-9 season.
Mm.
But like, I'm like, yo, nice Curries or whatever, man. Nobody got those colors. He's like, what are Curries? I'm like, I'm like, you're wearing Stephen Curry shoes, Under Armour. He's like, oh, that's what the SC stands for. No, you're not. Bro. You're not ready for this. He's like, dude, I thought this stood for. I thought this stood for sports clips. I was like, no way. Because like that was like right when sports clips opened up by the movie theaters, and I was like, bro, he's like, that's where I get my haircuts from. That's what it stood for, bro. That joint was crazy, bro.
My man gets cuts at the sports clips. Oh, man.
You really thought sports clips had their own shoe?
That's diabolical. So diabolical. Could
Oh man,
never.
that's crazy.
So, into some NBA stuff. We got just some news. Obviously, with we're in January, so that means the trade deadline is heating up. All talks of the trade deadline, talks of players getting moved for this and that and this and that is heating up. So we got a couple news. The Brooklyn Nets reported to where they reportedly rejected 4 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges last year and still show no interest in trading him. I'm getting this from NBA Central.
No, that's real. Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh yeah. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I think that was probably a bad thing that they didn't do that because, I mean, Mikal Bridges last year when he got to the Nets was cooking, but they probably could have just used that just to blow it up and try again.
Nah, because 4 first-round draft picks from the Grizzlies, like it's cool and all, but you got Ja Morant, you'll have Mikal Bridges. You're not gonna even get a good draft pick out of that unless it's like this year. But this year, there's not even that much like really good talent that I know of going into the draft. So it makes sense why they wouldn't do that trade because it's the Grizzlies. I mean, first round draft pick is first round draft pick, which is great. But with you not having your own draft picks, you still want a chance of making the playoffs. I mean, you were that close to getting Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard wanted to go there, like you were that
Was
close.
Damian Lillard going to make them contenders though? I don't think so. I
Not
don't think.
contenders, but you're still making the playoffs, and it's still adding on to a chance to improving your roster.
Well, don't you want to? But don't you want a chance to contend, not just make the playoffs? Like,
yeah, but
the end goal is to contend for a championship, not to.
You don't want to blow. You don't want to blow it up until you have your draft picks back. You still just want to. You want people in your seats watching your games, so you're still making money. Because if you're the Pistons, if you're Pistons level, you're not making no money because no one's paying for tickets. Nobody wants to see them.
They're gonna get those TV deals.
So you're
anyway.
in Brooklyn. You don't have any draft picks. There's no point to even blow up the roster because you're just gonna lose you're gonna lose your draft pick to the Rockets. You might as well just try to do as much as you can because you don't even know what could happen. Like you can make the playoffs and you can upset like the Indiana Pacers or something. You make the second round, everyone's going crazy, and then like you don't know what can happen. You could put on this crazy out of pocket just run to the finals or something, which is unlikely, but it's still a chance. And you'd rather have that than just sitting at home. Everybody sucks in your team. And yeah, you got a bunch of Memphis Grizzly picks, but what are they going to do for you?
But I think of it like
20th pick in the draft.
Because now they're sitting at what? I don't know their record off the top of my head. But like, what are they gonna? They're gonna just sit at mid-table and just be mid and have already just a not so good draft pick, like because they're mid-table. So I feel like obviously there's 2 ways you should just go in the NBA. Like now they're sitting 10th, so that's what the play-in. Yes, that's a play-in.
Yeah,
with a chance to very well be knocked out because they're 16 and 23. The Hawks are 16 and 23, and the Raptors are 15 and 25. So they very well might not make it in. I mean, could they? Yes, but they also have a chance of not making it in. So you could have had a chance to got 4 first round picks to, and we've also seen whether or not they're lottery picks or not. We've seen later round draft picks in the first round and even the second round, but especially the first round be good. And who says you can't parlay that into a young star? You can get I don't know. You can go get a young star. Maybe go get somebody, trade somebody. I don't know. Like I don't really see what their direction is. Because are they gonna contend? Are they gonna be bad? Like what are they doing? Like that's NBA purgatory. You don't want to be mid table because you're not gonna get a high draft pick, and you're not gonna. You did well enough to just barely make the playoffs or just barely miss it, and now you're not gonna get a good draft pick. So it's like that's purgatory right there. Some more news.
Well,
Go ahead.
hey, look. If they make the playoffs,
Okay.
guess what? Their draft pick is still the same. If they miss the playoffs, their draft pick is still the same. So you might as well just go try to make the playoffs.
And do what?
Make money.
They're in New York. They're already gonna make money. They're in New York.
No,
They're
no
in New
one's gonna.
York.
They're in Brooklyn. Like you're not gonna go
They're
see
gonna make
a
money.
trash team.
First of all, they're gonna make money because first off, they're gonna get these TV deals and all the other stuff that the NBA gets. So the NBA is gonna get money, and then they're gonna write them checks and split it evenly between the other teams and stuff. So they're like, okay,
Bro.
the teams are still gonna make money.
But if your team like if they suck, they're not gonna get the. They're gonna get less. What is it? What is it called when they
Revenue,
do? Huh? The
revenue.
games that are on like that are on TV, but like not League
Oh,
Pass.
okay. I
You're
know what
gonna
you're
get
saying.
less of those national whatever they call it. Yeah, but they're gonna get less of those games if you're a trash team. Like a big thing for the NBA now is Rivals Week, which we are currently in, and they played Knicks. They're not gonna have that if they're a trash team.
I
But
I guess it depends on what your owner values. Does he value money or does he value, wins and losses and actually competing for a chip? In your case, if you're that owner that cares about like if you're the owner that cares about TV deal or not, nationally televised games and money and this, then yeah, you will go that route. But in my case, look, at the end of the day, sports is about getting to the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is raising the trophy at the end of the year. And if
yeah,
you're
if
not
you
in
want
the
that goal, at least you want to have a chance. If you don't make the
they don't
playoffs, you don't have a chance.
they're not going to have a chance either way.
They have a chance. They have a chance.
No, they don't. They don't.
I seen a bummy Atlanta Hawks team go to the conference finals just a few years ago.
That's because that's because they played the Knicks in the first round, and that's because Julius Randle choked. Then they played the 76ers. We already know what happened with Ben. That's why he went downhill. And then they played the Bucks. And what happened when they played the Bucks? Wop 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 out of there. They're
But the
not
Nets, the Nets have a lot of great guys on their roster.
they're
If
going to
they
be
just
they're going to be the 8th seed and play who? The Celtics. And what's going to happen with that? Wop
they
wop.
get hey. I would give the Nets a chance against the Celtics.
A chance to what? Take a game?
Por-
Okay, I'll take a game. Yeah, maybe. But like,
Porzingis, look. Porzingis goes down. Nets win.
no.
Boom.
So there's this
Look,
guy. Hold
hey,
on.
I want you.
There's this guy over there. I don't know if you heard about him. He's been really balling the last couple years. First team all NBA, one of the best
Jason
small
Tatum,
forwards. Yeah, his name's Jason Tatum. They also have this other guy, even though he
Joker
didn't
in the
play like.
playoffs.
They also
The
have this
guy who
other guy,
the guy who chokes in
and
the playoffs.
oh wow, and Mikal Bridges is really a world beater. I forgot
It's
Mikal Bridges.
sports. Anything can
I
happen.
forgot
I would
Mikal
rather
Bridges
have a
turned on
chance than
LeBron
none.
James.
Hey, but also hey, no one's gonna talk about this season, but look at the Celtics. Yeah, they have a good record, but look at the teams they've lost to. Every single good competition they play against.
That's you can say that about any team.
They're just like the Bulls a couple years ago. How they had a bunch of wins. but they had to play a bunch of trash teams.
But you would trust them in a 7-game series,
What?
barring any injuries. You would trust them in a 7-game series.
What, the Bulls a
And
couple years ago? Or are you talking
and
about
no,
Celtics?
and don't even do that. Oh, Jason Tatum's a choker. First of all, they were down 3-1. Yes, to the Heat. I recognize they were down 3-1. They came back, and then he got hurt in the first couple minutes of Game 7. So Jaylen Brown had to carry. Jason Tatum couldn't even really play. So
Okay, I wasn't
don't
even
do
talking
that.
about this.
So don't even act like, oh, Jason Tatum's a choker, because he's not. So don't do that.
When they were in the finals against Stephen Curry.
Oh, come on. Come on.
He
Okay,
was
yes, that was his first NBA Finals, and he's going up against a Dynasty Warriors team. Come on, don't do that. Don't put this label on him that he's a playoff choker now.
he's
Because
always been a playoff choker.
oh, so hold on. So he's a playoff choker. If memory serves me correct, I think he had 51. It's against his team up in Philly. Did he do that? Maybe he didn't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think he had 51. I think he was pretty bad all game. Then he came through in the fourth quarter and was cooking Philly.
Look,
and
all I
bounced them
gotta
out
say
in the
is,
second round. Oh, like the last time they bounced him out in the second round. Because that was like 2 years in a row they bounced him out in the second round. Huh.
every time Mikal Bridges has been in the playoffs, he has a 1 in 3 chance of making the finals. I'm just saying.
There was this one time he was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year, and I remember this guy plays them down in Dallas, just out of shape white dude, just cooked him up all game long. And Kel Bridges was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. I guess I missed it. Maybe I haven't been watching basketball, or maybe like the old heads been saying I'm too young. I missed the part of when Mikal Bridges all of a sudden became Julius Irving, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, player
It's
build.
not even just Mikal Bridges. They just have a great team out there.
Who else?
They have a bunch
of role players.
Great role players.
No, they're just good role players.
They're great role players.
Cam Johnson is not good. Cam Johnson's not. No. First, Cam Johnson's not doing it. Nick Claxton is not Patrick Ewing. He's not going to turn into Joel Embiid. We already know what Nick Claxton is. He's great. Don't get me wrong. I love Nick Claxton, but he's not going to turn into Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the playoffs. Dorian Finney-Smith. I like Dorian Finney-Smith, but he's not going to turn into James Worthy. So don't do this propaganda. Oh, they have a chance. No, they don't.
Bro,
have
okay,
a chance.
look.
They're cooked.
I believe everyone that makes the playoffs has a chance of winning it. They do.
No.
It's just a very small chance.
Okay, yeah, percentage-wise, yes, they have a chance, but it's probably like 0.0001.
No. Going against Boston, Kristaps gets hurt, they have a 15% chance of winning.
You do understand that there's Jason Tatum on the other side.
I don't care about Jason Tatum.
Okay, besides Mikal Bridges, let's say he averages 20. Because that's what he was going to average. He's going to average 20.
Yeah, he averaged 20.
Who else is going to do anything else?
Everyone just got to chip in their 12 to 15 points and they're winning. Spencer
Dinwiddie all of a sudden turned into
it's Magic Johnson.
Yeah, apparently so.
Bro, the only player I would be afraid of on the Celtics would be Derek White.
Does even though he's not a great offensive player right now, Drew Holiday still plays over there. Al Horford still plays over there.
I forgot they had Drew Holiday.
Oh,
still don't care though. It still don't matter.
I forgot Drew Holiday's over there. Derek White.
It's a 15% chance.
Jaylen Brown's still over there, and people give him a lot of hell because of what happened last year. But he's still Jaylen Brown. He still can drop 25 of a bucket of a
15% chance.
Anyway,
win.
On to other news. The Mavericks are in serious trade talks of getting Pascal Siakam.
I don't know.
Dude,
I don't think so. I don't think it happens.
I don't even know how that works.
I don't think it happens.
I don't know what the Mavericks have to give up to go get him.
They got a bunch of people that are in their rotation.
I think they should just keep it how they have it right. I don't know because I don't know how Pascal Siakam would even fit because yeah, I don't really. I feel like a better fit for the Mavs would be like what's his face?
Mikal Bridges.
He would fit too. I feel like he would fit on any team. I mean, he can be a 3-and-D player on anybody's team. I was gonna say Kyle Kuzma. I feel like he'll be a little bit better of a fit.
Bro, Kyle Kuzma sucks, bro.
The Wizards are wanting. I think the Wizards want to give up. I think the Wizards want like 2 first-round picks. I think that's what it said.
Kyle Kuzma is dog booty.
I feel like
He's
he
a
can still help
fraud.
out a team.
He's a
I feel like he can
fraud.
still help out a team.
He's gonna go to another team and just choke for them in the playoffs. I'm calling it.
But it's also saying there's some noise that the Pacers could be in line to get Pascal Siakam.
I don't really want to see that, but it's possible.
There's also rumors. So Pascal Siakam's definitely on the trade block. There, like I said, there's rumors for him to go to the Pacers, and there's rumors for him to go to the Mavericks. Out of those teams, which one would you like to see?
There's more teams.
Well, I know those are like the main teams that where I'm seeing are really leading for to get him. I haven't really seen.
Can you Google for me what his contract is? Is it up this year?
Yeah, it's up this year. It's up this year.
Honestly, I'm going to guess they keep Pascal Siakam. They don't trade him.
It's going to be rough because you don't want to trade for him and then he doesn't sign back. That's what you don't want to have. You don't want to trade for Pascal Siakam, trade away what is he worth? Like how many picks would you like what is his worth? What do you think he's because it's reported that the Pacers were looking to get hold on, let me go back to it. It said that the Pacers were looking to trade away Bruce Brown, what's the other guy's name? Buddy Hield and first round picks. Is he worth 3 picks? Especially since his contract is over or done after this year?
He's not. And he's not even really worth Buddy Hield and Bruce Brown. Like I mean, actually, no, okay. Coming from a different team, yes. But I feel for what the Pacers have going, nah, not really. I would not give up.
I wouldn't be willing to trade an arm and a leg to go get him, especially if you're uncertain that he's not going to resign back. If you know he's going to resign back and you're on a team that might be on the cusp, I would say go for it. But if you're not positive or 100% certain that he's going to sign back, why would I trade for him? Well, teams are probably going to wait closer and closer and closer to the deadline. I'm just going to wait because you're going to have to, that value is going to have to drop because I'm not going to trade an arm and a leg for a guy that may or may not resign back with my team. So why would I give up all this capital to go get a guy we might not even have next year? So now I just lost out on so much.
I believe the only team that should put in an offer really is I mean, if the Mavericks can get it for dirt cheap, just some players and some seconds, go for it.
What do you say?
I don't see that happening.
What do you say? Like the Raptors will probably want young pieces. So do you give up what Jaden Hardy?
I guess, and then you give out like Dwight Powell and stuff.
Jesus Christ, Dwight Powell. Yeah, there's a guy I work with. He knows what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say his name. You'll probably be watching this. You let me know who you would like to see the Mavericks give up to go get Pascal Siakam. But I don't. Would that vault the Mavericks into being title contenders?
No, but I see them as a team that could easily get a win and go on a run.
Obviously, that can happen because you got number 77. You got Luka. So
and then you also got Kyrie. That's a
proven
you
playoff
go on a
guy.
run. They're hot. They're hot.
That's if they got Siakam, that's a team I wouldn't want to play in. That's already a team I don't want to play in the playoffs anyway. Yeah. But If they got Siakam, that's definitely a team I don't want to play in the playoffs because they got 3 guys that can go get you 20, and they got a guy in Luca who can go get you 35, 10, and 10 at a drop of a hat any given time. So he can take. We've seen him being able to take over playoff games time and time again.
Yeah, the only team that's a contender that should be really, because I don't want to see my Sixers get them. I don't. But the only team that should throw in any type of offer that's a contender is Miami Heat. If you have it, go
They're
for it.
interested. They're interested in Donovan Mitchell though.
Unless you have to get rid of Tyler Hero, don't trade Tyler Hero for Pascal Siakam. But oh, Joker's not clutch. 2 missed threes in a row.
I know. I'm
But
watching.
Warriors, I would have to see what they would have to give up.
I forgot about them too.
Yeah.
The Warriors said it came out earlier. The Warriors are willing to trade anybody besides Steph. So I definitely think that means Wiggs. You're gonna be gone. I feel like Wiggs could be gone.
Okay, yeah, they have Wiggins. Yeah, if they trade Wiggins for him, then yeah, that's fine. Yeah, go for it.
I feel like
For real.
they could trade Wiggs. They could. I think
Forgot they
Wiggs
had
could be
Wiggins.
gone. You know who the Warriors that trade chip that the Warriors have that they can give the Raptors and the Raptors will want?
Power forward
Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga.
Kuminga, Wiggins for and like a first round pick. Yeah,
for
solid.
Siakam.
That's a good trade.
Then I think the Warriors should definitely try and invest in a big man.
Yeah,
somebody who can protect the paint and really, another player that's on the trade block.
Oh, my last team was Pistons for Siakam.
God.
I say just go for it. What else you got? What else are you gonna do? Go for it.
The Atlanta Hawks are looking to trade 2 first-round picks for DeJounte Murray. Teams, obviously, some teams I've saw were the Spurs. They were looking to get him back, which I would like because the Spurs need a point guard. Yeah. But when you traded DeJounte Murray, you didn't think you were going to get Wemby. Wemby wasn't even really a thing.
No, they did think that. They thought that. They traded DeJounte because they wanted to get Wemby.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
I guess you didn't. I still think they shouldn't trade all that to go get DeJounte. I think he's a little bit overrated in my opinion. But we're gonna get into that. I think he's a little bit overrated. I would like them go see them go get what's the guy's name? Jones from the
Tyus Jones from the Wizards.
I would like them to go get Tyus Jones.
I said that like our last podcast.
I know. I'm just saying. I would like them to go get Tyus Jones.
Yeah.
I feel like he would fit.
DeJounte would be cool.
I think the Lakers are also. I don't know how I feel about the Lakers going to go get DeJounte. The Lakers need scoring. They need scoring. I think the Lakers' biggest problem is because Justin Vanderbilt said that the Lakers could turn it around. I think the Lakers' biggest problem is they need to. I don't think they need to have Taurean Prince and Cam Reddish start. First of all, I think Cam Reddish is cooked. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I think he's cooked. I don't think he's any good. I think him.
I'm still surprised he's starting. Like
I'm still surprised he's in the league, to be honest with you. He everybody's like, oh, just give him time. He's in his 5th year in the NBA. There is no more time. You are by your 5th year in the NBA, you are what you pretty much are gonna be by your 5th year. Like that's just cutting. If you're a 3-and-D guy, you're gonna be a 3-and-D unless you make a full-on Brooke Lopez, an Al Horford type of career transformation from being back to the basket block guys to big men who can shoot. But you usually are what you're going to be in your 5th year. So stop saying Cam Reddish just needs time, blah, blah, blah. No. His time is done. I think the Lakers should keep Taurean Prince, but they should trade away Justin Vanderbilt, trade away Cam Reddish, and maybe even trade away D'Lo. Those are 3 guys that need to be traded, but I also heard D'Lo is very hard to get rid of because of his contract.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about the Lakers, but I do know Cam Reddish used to be a god in my team because there was like an
He did,
opal. There was an
yeah.
opal. What's his name? Paul George out. That was a dog. But then they dropped the
Pink
pink
diamond.
diamond or
Mm-hmm.
diamond Cam Reddish, who literally had the
Mm-hmm.
exact same animations as him, and it was like a dog, and he was cheap. Now I was
Nah.
goaded.
What's his face? I think it was Pink Diamond. Giannis in like 2K20.
Yep. Hmm.
Oh my gosh, bro, he was a dog. Um, I don't know if there's any more trades that's looking to be on the or players that's on the wire. Um, yeah, I don't think there's anybody else that's looking to be traded. Obviously, Andrew Wiggins, looking to be on the block. Zach Levine. We can't get no calls for Zach Levine. They said
Levine
if
to
we
the
could,
Pistons.
honestly, we can't get rid of him for Jack, which is like just so sad. Just so sad. But is there anything else you had for trade talks?
Pistons. One of the worst trades.
Oh yeah, they got rid of Marvin Bagley. I
What the
totally
heck?
forgot that was even a thing.
That joint was so dumb.
I forgot that was even a thing.
You gave up two second round picks, and then you trade them away for 2 second round picks.
It was just like cap stuff. I don't even know. I
Who are
totally
you
forgot about that trade.
signing?
I don't know. I don't know.
Who's going to Detroit?
Same people that are going to the games.
Like,
Uh,
who's in this free agency?
who's gonna be a free agent this year? Let me look it up. NBA 2024.
Whoever's like an 80 overall in 2K, they're signing them for like 25 million.
I'm trying to look it up. My computer's being weird. Yeah, that's gonna be That's an interesting because like Pascal's obviously gonna be a free agent.
Yeah.
It's not loading, but once it loads, I'll let you know.
Like,
Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know who's a free agent.
But I did have some players like we do always. Well, is that it for the trade talk for right now?
Yeah.
So I had some players, and you're gonna let me know if they're overrated, properly rated, or underrated.
Okay.
So, first player is DeMar DeRozan overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
I'm gonna say underrated.
I'm gonna say properly rated. If you have him, if you think he's gonna be the star player to lead your team to the championship, he's an overrated. But if
Yeah.
you think he's just an all-star caliber player, pretty good and get you 20 to 25 points a game, properly rated. If you think he's anything below that, he's underrated. So I would say DeMar DeRozan is underrated. Been a very good scorer for. He's going to be one of those. Like I think we said it before. He's going to be one of those players that we forget about later in life.
Yep.
Kawhi Leonard, overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
Underrated.
I was also going to say underrated. I think
Heavily underrated.
I think people have gotten to the point where I still feel like the same thing with Anthony Davis, where we bash him so much for getting hurt. He's never playing. He's sitting out. He's doing this. He's always hurt, and that kind of took him down to the more, underrated. Or they did it so much to where he's underrated.
Here's my thing.
Go ahead.
People be like, "Oh, T-Mac, he's really a top 30 talent in the NBA ever." Just the fact that he doesn't have the accolades, so he's more like top 50-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi is just like that, but he has the accolades.
Yeah.
See, I messed it up. It's more like T-Mac, but he had the injury, so it makes him less of a. But Kawhi had the injuries, but he has the accolades.
Right.
DPOY, two-time
finals
MVP.
Multiple time All-Star.
Multiple time All-Star game MVP.
Yeah.
That was a good 2K card.
Yeah.
Kawhi is one of the best players of all time. I would probably have him.
Is he better than John Stockton?
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. I have him higher than John Stockton.
Don't
I'd
let the
probably
old
have.
heads hear that.
I would
We're too
probably
young.
have. I would probably have Kawhi, maybe like the 30th best player of all time right now as it stands.
I can agree with that. The next player we have is Domantas Sabonis. Overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
Heavily underrated because people don't even know who he is.
That's true. I was gonna say he's a little bit more on the overrated side, but not too much. I don't think you can win a chip with him as him being one of your dogs because he's very inconsistent, especially when the competition goes up. But I still like him. I think he's still a very good all-star caliber player. I think, but if you have him being like he can lead our team to the promised land, that's when you think he's a little overrated. Another player is Jalen Green. Overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
Overrated.
I was also going to say overrated.
That dude's trash.
Jalen Green is not the guy in Houston no more. You know who it is? Alperen Sengun. He's the captain of that team. Amen Thompson, when he gets better, he's going to be one of the guys. Fred VanVleet's still there. Dylan Brooks is still there. Jabari Smith kind of makes me a little sad because you should be a little bit better. But Jalen Green, you were drafted to be the guy. You're anything but the guy. So I also think he's a little bit overrated. Oh, and by the way, to answer your question about some NBA free agents this year, one of them is your guy, Tyrese Maxey. He will be a free agent, but he's going to be a restricted free agent, though, I believe.
Yeah, the restricted don't count. I'm not talking about restricted.
Oh, well, the computer was literally just up, and now it just went down. So just give me 1 second. Dang. In the meantime, is Jason Tatum overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
Depends on the week of the NBA.
Nah, I think he's properly rated. I think he could lead your team.
He's probably properly.
And then another one I had was Dylan Brooks. Is he overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
Depends on the week of the NBA.
I think he's underrated, man. I think he's underrated.
Properly rated.
I think he's underrated. I think people forget like it's not easy to make an all defensive team. And people forget like he did that. And he's a streaky shooter, but he's an all NBA type defender. And if he can knock down a 3 or 2, he can fit on any team. Now his antics are a little, you know what I mean? But I think because his antics get in the way, I think people think he's a little bit overrated.
Once again, Embiid shows that he's better than Joker.
Yeah. So for all you guys that are not watching, the Sixers just beat the Nuggets 126-121. Embiid had another 30-ball game. But now he's talking to DeAndre Jordan.
He's recruiting.
I thought they were going to fight. Who would I? So yeah, Tyrese Maxey's going to be a free agent. Paul George will be a free agent. Or wait, didn't they just redo his deal or no? Or was that just rumored? Anyway,
I think I remember. I don't know.
If it was just rumored, Pascal Siakam will be a free agent. LeBron has his player option. I think he'll just go back, but he has a player option. Drew Holiday will be a free agent because of his player option. Tobias Harris will be a free agent. DeMar DeRozan, Emmanuel Quickley. James Harden will also be a free agent. OG Anunoby will also be a free agent. Nick Claxton, D'Angelo Russell, because he has a player option. Malik Monk will be a free agent. KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Miles Bridges, Klay Thompson will also be a free agent. Buddy Hield, Bruce Brown, Jonas Valanciunas, Spencer Dinwiddie, Kelly Oubre, D'Anthony Melton, Mo Wagner, Tyus Jones, and Gordon Hayward. Those are the top 25 free agents.
The Miles Bridges might be getting $30 million from the Pistons. Klay Thompson might be getting $30 million from the Pistons. Or
Russ will also be a free agent.
Harden might be getting 40 million from the Pistons if he don't care about contending because he wants the bag.
Pistons are just gonna be signing everybody. Eric Gordon,
Whichever one, whoever of that top 50 list want to go make some M's, they're going to the Pistons.
I think they have like $60 million in cap, don't they?
Something like that.
Yeah,
It's the
so they got money
Pistons.
to they got money to spend. It's just the Pistons. Yeah, they'll be a little, you know. Pistons. I just feel bad for
At
them.
least Cade Cunningham about to get a bag before he dips up out of there. Couple more seasons, Cade, you can leave.
They're gonna hit because then they're gonna match that contract, and you're gonna be right back there, buddy. You're not leaving anytime soon, buddy. You're trapped. Unless you just be like, I'm just gonna sit out. I'm not gonna play.
I'm Cade. I'm sitting out. I'm too
mean,
good to be doing this.
I mean, yeah, it sucks because he's in that situation, and it sucks. But if you're Cade, if I'm Cade, and I'm gonna be like, look, well, no, because then they're like I said, he's gonna be a restricted free agent, so I can't be like I need a supermax 200 M's because then the Pistons are gonna have to match that, which they will. And I don't know if another team will be willing to give him 200 M's unless you're like the Spurs. But other than that, I got like 3 more players that we can hop up out of here.
All right.
So I got Jimmy Butler. Is he overrated?
Underrated. Heavily underrated.
I was going to Jimmy Butler. I think he's properly rated. He can get your team there. We've seen what playoff Jimmy can do. He's more than capable of turning it on during playoff time. Obviously, if you get him some different players, some different pieces, some different, some more help, so he doesn't have to do it all, he could lead your team. So I think he's properly rated. He's getting a little bit up there in age, though, but I think he's still properly rated.
If someone was like, Jimmy Butler's the 9th best player in the league, I'd be like, okay, yeah.
Right now? Like right now?
Right now, yeah.
No.
Bro, understand. Like with the guy like him, it don't matter about regular season success. We know what he is in the playoffs.
We're talking about, I guess so. We're talking about his playoffs, and he would be probably top 5. But we're talking about this season. He's been out a lot, so he's not top 10. He wasn't in your top 10.
Yeah, but I'm saying if someone said he was in top 10, I'll be okay with it. Like,
no, I wouldn't be okay with it.
If someone's like, oh yeah, Jamal Murray's top 25 player in the league, I'm okay with it.
Okay, that's different. We're talking about top 10. We're talking about the 10 best players. We're talking about We're talking about all NBA. Is Jimmy Butler gonna be all NBA?
Jamal Murray don't put up freaking all-star level stats.
Is Jimmy Butler going to be all NBA this year? First of all, he shouldn't have been all NBA last year because they only put him in all NBA because of the playoff run. That's the only reason they did that. Based off regular season, no. But Jimmy Butler is not a top 10 player in the NBA right now. I can debate anybody in the comments about that. He's not top 10 right now. We've obviously did our list before. There's 10 better players. Is he top 15? Probably so, but I don't even know.
So those top 15, you can't say maybe they might be top 10. Because my top 15, I could probably say all of them could possibly be top 10.
But we're talking about this season, and Jimmy Butler is not.
Pull up the stats.
He hasn't been playing.
60% from the field, 45% from 3.
It's
3 steals per game.
It's easy to do that when you're not playing games.
27 points. 6 assists, 6 rebounds. I'm joking with you. I don't know Jimmy Butler's stats.
I'm gonna say I think he's not even playing.
So
what they've almost
he is playing.
They've almost played 40 games this season out of what? Out of the games that they've played, Jimmy Butler's played in 25. He's averaging 21, 5, and 4 on 47% shooting from the field, 37% from the field, and 88.8% from the free throw line. He's only played in 25 games.
Don't care.
Next player we got Is Trae Young overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
I'm gonna go underrated now.
I'm gonna say he's underrated, but if you say he can lead, if you think he's the lead guy that Trae Young can get you to the finals and win, as I don't think Trae Young can be the guy to get you to the finals. If you think that, then he's overrated. I don't think he can do that. But if you're like, yeah, he's all-star level player, drop 25, average 30 points, what about 10 assists? Then he's properly rated. But I think
Well,
he
people,
I
what
think
people
he's
don't
gotten a
understand
little
about,
go ahead.
what people don't understand about Trae Young, if he has a prime 2011 Dwight Howard, he's winning a championship.
Well, yeah, but like they would probably be looking at Dwight Howard, not just him. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that run he had in the champ, to get to the Eastern Conference Finals was all fine, well, and dandy. But I don't think Trae Young can lead you to a chip by his lonesome. So, you definitely would have to get him a All-Star, All NBA caliber big to do that, to get him to that level. And the next player we have is Rudy Gobert, overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
Underrated.
I would say underrated too. Definitely underrated now. People have given this man a lot of hate over the last couple of years that now he has been labeled as underrated, but now he's leading the DPOY race on the first best team in the West. So, is there any players you had?
Um,
Because I can think of players off the top of my dome, but I know we don't have that much time. Like Julius Randle,
Kevin Herter.
underrated. Kevon Herter is very underrated. If I go up to people and be like, "Do you know who Kevon Herter is?" They'll be like, "Who's
Killian
that?"
Hayes. Killian Hayes. Markeith Morris.
Garrett Temple.
He's not in the league, bro. There's no way.
Yes, he is. I think he plays for the Raptors. What's his name? Kenny Lofton.
Underrated. Sixer legend.
Sixer legend. Yeah, I watched when they played the Bulls. He got in the game, and everybody in the stands was like, "Give it to Kenny! Give it to Kenny!"
Mm-hmm.
And he just like turned the ball over, and then he fouled somebody. I was like, "Damn, feels bad."
Ben Simmons. Underrated.
Luke Kennard. Try Io DeSumo.
Underrated.
Probably so.
I feel every role player is underrated.
Because people don't know who they are. People probably like, I don't know who Io DeSumo is. Who's that guy? I don't know who that guy is. But
White guy on the Warriors who's starting.
Oh, Potominski? It's Pachu. Yeah, it's something like that. My man's knows. He's gonna watch this and he's gonna know. He's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But nobody knows who he is. Like if I'm like, do you know who this guy is? And I start showing him to people on like the streets of DC, they're like, who's that?
Bro,
He
you know
plays
what's
in the NBA?
crazy?
What?
We've talked so much about John Stockton, but we've brought up the actual Jazz like once.
Because they
Current
suck.
Jazz.
I don't even feel the need to talk about them because their jerseys are actually absolute like dog water. Their jerseys are terrible. Like what made you who really sat there and was like, this is the New Jersey outlook or this is the new like logo design. And they really sat around the table and was like, genius. This is great. Like, go look at what the old Jazz logo was, especially in the 90s, and go look at it now. It's horrible. Even go look at it from like 2016 and 17. It's horrible. These jerseys, man.
We've talked about the Pistons, 76ers, the Bulls, Lakers.
Lakers, Memphis,
We brought up the Wizards a lot.
the Warriors.
Like we've talked about the Pistons so much, it's crazy.
Because losing is historic. Their losing is being bad is historically bad. They didn't win a game in like 2 months. That's
Like honestly,
terrible.
today was like one of our first times bringing up Miami Heat. Like we haven't brought them up.
Because they're like okay. They're not like
We
world beaters.
talked about how good Bam was, I think, once, and then
yeah,
Tyler
I
Hero
think, yeah.
getting injured, and that was it.
Because there's nothing going on down there in Miami.
I mean, we've barely talked about Minnesota, but I think that's just because it's Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, like, you guys are number one. I don't think it'll last in the playoffs.
Excuse
But
me.
what do I know? Like, we barely talk about. Well, we talk about OKC because of Shea.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if that's more of us talking about OKC. It's more Shea talk. So I
We've
think that,
okay. Actually, never mind. I was gonna say we never talked about the Rockets, but you bring up Sengun all the time. So
Sengun. We also never talk about the Hornets. I don't think we ever brought up besides today because we talked about
talking
Miles
about the
Bridges. Besides today, we talked about Miles Bridges. I don't think we ever talked about the
Bro,
Hornets
I
because they're
forgot they
dog water.
existed.
Because they're dog water.
I forgot they existed. Yo, I was thinking of teams. Like, bro, I forgot. Yo, I don't think we've like ever brought up the Hornets. That's crazy.
Because they suck. We don't want to. Nobody wants to talk about teams when they're bad. Like they're like so bad, and like LaMelo got hurt. He was like the only reason you're ever gonna talk about the Hornets. Like who's gonna tune in on a Wednesday night game against the Hornets and what was another team? It was the Jazz. Who's gonna turn into a Wednesday night game? The Hornets versus the Jazz. Nobody. Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you subject yourself to watching? Man, there's really nothing on tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and watch the Hornets versus the Jazz. Why would you do that? Why?
Like
I
we didn't even
think,
talk about him on the Hornets. We talked about him leaving.
yeah, like there's just certain teams you don't really like. We don't talk about. I'm looking at the teams now, and I think we've talked about all the teams except, like I said, the Hornets. I think this is like the first day we brought them up, and the Jazz. We never talked about the
Jazz and the Heat.
Jazz. The Heat. We rarely. I don't even know if we've ever talked about the Blazers. I think we talked about these teams. We talked about like their greatest player of all time, but other than that,
Yeah, but obviously we talked about them, but we're talking about current. We talked about the Blazers because I went to
never.
go see them,
Oh yeah,
and that was
but
it.
we never talk
Forgot
about
they existed as well.
like everybody in the. I think we've talked about everybody in the West. Spurs, Wemby. We talked about everybody else in the West, but like we've never
We've only talked about the Suns because you hate Bol
because he's not good. Everybody's like, oh, he had 20 the other day. He's still not good. Look, what do they say? What's that? What's the saying? A wrong clock is right at least twice a day.
Yeah.
So like, congratulations, he had 20. You're 7 feet tall. I would hope you would do that more, but you don't. But what do I know? And then
Yeah.
I really like the Orlando Magic because every time they win on their TikTok page, it goes Orlando Magic, Orlando Magic, Orlando Magic. Yeah, that's a bop. I think that might be better than Light the Beam. I'm not gonna lie. But did you have anything else for us before we got out of here?
Nope, I'm tired.
Oh, I'm tired. Aren't we all tired? But that's gonna end this episode for After the Whistle. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna try to hit 100 subs by the end of the year. We're already at 50. So like I said, hit us up on our socials. Make sure you keep interacting with us down in the comments. We'll try to respond. And if we can't, we'll like it. Just like, comment, subscribe. Try and build up our community. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Honestly, getting 100 by next year, kind of a long way away. Let's try and get 100 by Christmas.
That's right. Yeah, guys, by December 31st, let's have 100 subs. Let's have 100. Make sure to have 100 subs on December 31st at 11:58. We'll be all right.
Got along. Let's do December 27th.
All right, that ends today's episode. We'll catch you guys next week. Cheers.
Goodbye.